Hey everyone, Lesson 8, Level 6, Removing Elements. This Choose Your Own Adventure is kind of debugging errors and trying to fix what happens when you get this concurrent modification exception error, which means you are trying to modify a list during an iteration. So we'll see a way around that. And typically, if we're going to be removing elements, we want to start at the end and traverse backwards through the list. But let's go to the fitness app and see how this puppy works. So when I get here, all right, let me zoom this in a bit. And when I run it, we have that concurrent modification exception. And so what's happening is over here in this app, you kind of have you have an enhanced for loop, but then you're changing this during the loop, and that's bad. So we're just going to redo this as a traditional for loop, and we're going to try to work backwards. So this is, I don't need any of this stuff here, so I'm going to delete it out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for primitive int I equals 0. Oh no, we want to start at the end. So this is, I'm so used to that, exercises. So we're going to start at the end of the array. When we are having to remove elements, we want to start at the end and work forward. So I equals the size of my list, but we can't do that. We have to subtract 1 because that index doesn't exist. So if the size of the list is 5, there isn't an index 5. The greatest index is 4. And we want to keep doing this as long as I is greater than or equal to 0. And we want to take I and decrement it by 1 every time. And then if that thing is equal to the completed exercise, we want to remove it. So if the exercise dot get at index I dot equals the completed exercise, if it equals the completed exercise, we want to, oh, wrong thing. We want to take that exercise and remove the one at that index I. And then that should take care of the exception that we have. So let's run it and see what happens. There you go. So they have jumping jacks, jog, and stretch. So they removed stretch. So let's see what happens if we remove jog. And let's see what happens if we remove jumping jack. So it seems to work pretty good. Let's give it a test and make sure the test is running okay, and it does. So when you are removing elements, you have to be very, very careful. It's best to work from the back of the list and traverse it forward to the front part of the list, because when you remove elements, if I remove something in index 2, the thing at index 3 becomes my new index 2. But I've already passed that index 3, so it's not that big a deal. In other words, I didn't have to remove it, so it still exists. So, again, talk it out to you guys.